constant occurrence of product safety and inferior quality in the market has raised big questions about domestically produced commodities. How should manufacturers shore up product quality and rescue their reputation? This week on Insight, we talked to Mr. Beat Koita, General Manager of China Kima Quality Company, a leading global quality certificate and inspection company, to find some ideas.
Hello, Mr. Koita. Welcome to join us on the show.
Thank you for the invitation, and well, I'm glad to be here.
And as a professional in the quality certification and quality control industry, so what is your comment on the recent continuous occurrence of quality-related issues, or can we say quality crisis here in the country?
First, let me say I don't actually really consider it as a crisis. I mean, product quality and product safety is a continuous learning process. It's important that mistakes which are made during such a process, which can be very complex, involving a lot of factors. We have suppliers, we have employees which are involved in the production, so mistakes can happen. But important, of course, is that out of those mistakes, learnings are made, that eventually the government will adopt regulations. Manufacturers will have to adopt processes, review processes, make new processes to make sure the same occurrence will not happen again.
When problems like this occur, it's the government's obligation, it's their responsibility to correct those problems. And they should do some reporting, efficient reporting, or make the general public aware of the incident. So do you think that this time the government is doing well in this aspect?
Well, I certainly feel that the Chinese government in general responds well to quality issues. In my opinion, they also have responded well to the issues with milk powder. Also, I did wish it could have happened a little bit earlier, but anyway, the response basically was good. Now, of course, it's not always only the government's responsibility, or it's not actually the government's responsibility to make sure that the quality is good. I mean, that responsibility lies with the manufacturer. Product quality, but also product safety is, of course, no longer a local or a regional issue, but that's rather more a global issue. So what I basically would like to see is that government authorities, means market surveillance authorities, or those authorities of the government which are responsible for supervision manufacturers, start to work much more closely together. We basically have seen over the last 15 months that, for example, the European Commission for Consumer Affairs, which is responsible for product quality, product safety in Europe, and ICS, this is the Chinese administration for supervision, quarantine and inspections, have started to work very closely together. So I think that's a good step.
This incident definitely reduces the reputation of Chinese products, the quality of Chinese products in the international market. So how do you think that the Chinese manufacturers or the Chinese producers can regain the confidence and regain the trust from those customers all over the world?
Maybe also here I would like to look back a little bit into the past. Well, it's just about 129 years ago that Edison invented the incandescent bulb, so the traditional bulb we are using at home, and that one lasted for 13 hours. So if we would say, or if you look at today's situation, we would say that that bulb has a very poor quality. Now, of course, over that 129 years, engineers did learn something out of it. Manufacturing processes have improved, materials have improved. Now, in the meantime, such an incandescent bulb reaches a life expectation of 2,000 hours. Well, that's a tremendous difference. So it's not something you can do in a very short time. It's a long process. It's a learning process. Quality is not just made by having a system in place. Quality is made by the people. The more training and education you give to the employees, the better, of course, quality will become. So it's a long process. Also looking maybe at Japan, I mean, at the 60s, 70s, Japan also was considered to be of poor quality. But if you look nowadays, Made in Japan is a brand, and I'm pretty much sure that in a couple of years also Made in China will mean something.
Some of the milk producers who were involved in this scandal they are very reputable. They enjoy a high reputation in the dairy product industry. And all their products are so good. They used to be so good, and they are even exempt from the national examination or inspection. So do you think it's a wise idea to have these products that can be exempt from inspections?
If the market, if the self-regulation works, then basically yes, I believe that actually works. That is self-responsibility of a manufacturer. I mentioned it before, if you are a brand manufacturer, then you will usually take all measures to make sure that you can maintain quality. Because if you do not maintain quality, that will have an impact on the market. Consumer will not buy your products anymore, and if consumer do not buy your product anymore, that means you don't make any business anymore. And eventually the value of your brand will decrease. So there is indeed no benefit to have non-high quality products on the market.
We have been talking to Mr. Biat Koisa, General Manager of China Kima Quality Company, and that wraps up this edition of Insight. Bye for now.